What is going on, Tiger fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Hot Corner, which is an in-depth look at all things Detroit Tigers baseball. As always, I'm John Check. So let's get down to it. Right now, the Detroit Tigers have a great problem in spring training. They're looking to see who's going to round out the fifth spot in the rotation, and it's a battle between the youngster southpaw Drew Smyly and the sinker baller Rick Porcello. So, who would I give the job to as of right now, and how is each pitcher doing? Well, let's start out with Drew Smyly. I watched Drew Smyly start yesterday, and he looked outstanding. So far, Drew Smyly, I believe in three starts in spring. I think it's 3. He's pitched 9 innings, allowed 3 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6. And yesterday, he looked awesome. Whether it was against right-handers or left-handers, he was throwing his first pitch fastball, quality strikes on the corners to both sides of the plate, pitching in and out. And he struck out Freddie Freeman yesterday on one of the best looking curveballs I've ever seen him throw. He started at the back hip and it hit right dead square, almost on the outside black, and struck Freeman out looking. He looked stupid. He struck out B.J. Upton on a great looking fastball. He struck out Justin Upton on a great looking changeup. And he had his mix and speeds awesome. He looked outstanding. One of the best starts. It was honestly one of the best starts I saw out of Smyly. It reminded me, I think they were playing the Twins. Smyly ended up getting hurt that game, but he struck out 10 hitters in 6 innings of work. He had a blister or something. He went on the DL for a little while, which was his second DL stint in 2012. But he looks awesome so far, and I'm really impressed. Smyly was in the same exact spot last year. After Jacob Turner went down, the fifth spot opened up even more because Turner was looked upon as the fifth starter last year, and then he got that dead arm and he got hurt, so it knocked him out. And then Smyly just outpitched everyone. And for a while, I remember Andy Oliver he almost got the job, and then he went back to being a walk machine. And then Drew Smyly came out of nowhere, and he locked it down. And he's doing the same thing again this year. Porcello, he's had one bad outing so far in spring. He had a really, really good outing last time. I'll get that to here in a second. But Smyly, he has looked like he wants to be the fifth starter. He's doing exactly what he did last year. So let's touch on Porcello here. Porcello last time out, I forget who he was facing, but he struck out 6 hitters, and I gotta say, he looked outstanding, But Porcello's done this to us before. It seems like every year Porcello have that 5-0, 4-0 stretch mid-year, and everyone goes, man, hopefully Ricky P's about to turn the corner. He's going to be the same guy we saw in 2009, and he's going to finally turn into this pitcher we hoped he did. But then he hits a wall, and then he just falls off. His whip goes back up. He starts, getting home run happy against left-handers because he has a hard time getting out lefties. And one thing I saw from it I really, really liked is he started featuring a curveball this past start. Porcello was mainly sinker, fastball, changeup, slider. I always heard from Jeff Jones, the Tigers pitching coach, that he featured a curveball in the bullpen, and he threw a curveball in high school, but they ditched it. I think when Rick Knapp was a pitching coach for the slider. And his slider was never that good of a pitch. It was never that legit swing and miss strikeout pitch. And that's something Porcello's lacked. And the reason why he's got to hit up so much of his career because he's got to rely so heavily on the ground ball because he only strikes out 100 guys a year and 180 innings of work. So with this curveball, it looked awesome. It had really good depth. He was throwing it for strikes in different counts. And it looked like it could be a pitch that potentially could open up some doors for Rick Porcello in the future. And if he could come out and build off this start and have another couple starts like that where he's striking out 6 and his curveball's looking that good, and I gotta admit, his sinker over the last few years has gained a few more miles per hour, so is his four-seam fastball, because he used to touch 97, I heard, in college. And he's hit 95 a few times, between 92 and 95 with his sinker, and it's got good late depth on it, too. It's not just that flat one we see get hit into the stands all the time. It's had some good depth. So you had that good depth sinker, along with his changeup was looking good, too, on top of having that curveball. He could finally open up some doors, and get that huge strikeout when he needs it, besides just relying on that ground ball. Because this curveball, I gotta admit, it looked really, really good, a lot better than the slider every day. But if I'm giving the job out today, I gotta give it to Drew Smyly still. I understand it's been 3 starts each, and these guys have had a limited amount of innings, but Drew Smyly has just looked outstanding every time out there. He has the stuff. I think he has a lot better command than Rick Porcello does. I think his repertoire of pitches is a lot better than Rick Porcello, and he's better at getting out both left-handers and right-handed hitters, and Porcello can only really get out right-handers. And he gets hit up a couple of times through the lineup, after hitters see him a few times, that's when his numbers just start skyrocketing. Porcello's only made it to the 9th inning once his entire career, and I think he's made it to the 8th inning twice, 2 or 3 times in 4 years. So, you don't last very long. You could add a guy like Drew Smyly who would round out a rotation, add a lefty in a right-handed dominant rotation, and he could bring, a lot more innings, quality starts than Porcello could. Because Porcello eats up his fair share of innings. I'll give you that. He pitches about 175, 180 innings. But you could add Drew Smyly in there, who could give you more starts, more quality starts and more innings, and it would help the rotation more. And there's a lot of uneasiness about throwing Porcello in the pen. He'd be a really high-paid reliever. And there's also been a lot of trade rumors swirling around, because a lot of people are freaking out about Bruce Rendon, even though Rendon's pitched 3 2/3 innings, about him not being the closer. So Porcello could be the closer, which I would never want. Or he could go in the pen, or we could trade Porcello. So there's a lot of stuff floating around Porcello. The Tigers going to keep him. He's going to be a fifth spot starter. Are they going to deal him for a closer? But I honestly see Drew Smyly getting the fifth spot rule again, because he has outpitched Porcello so far in all 3 outings he's had, and he's just looked unhittable. He has looked like the Drew Smyly when he first came up last year. He had only pitched at Double-A ball in his 1 year in the minors. I'm like, man, this he's never even saw Triple-A. How's he going to do? And I remember in his first 5 or 6 starts, he had the lowest ERA in the American League. He had like a 1.23 ERA, and he got screwed by the Tigers' offense quite a bit, because he was going out there tossing 6, 7 inning good starts, allowing an earned run, 2-run runs, and the Tigers' offense didn't do anything, because if you remember, Drew Smyly didn't get his first Major League win until they were in New York against the Yankees, and Valverde almost blew it. So Smyly could have had a lot better year win total-wise, even though wins don't mean much, last year than he did. And I think with the way he's pitching and the way he showed he could pitch last year, because he showed a lot of good starts, he had a lot of quality starts, that he could really make the Tigers, not bullpen, but the rotation lethal at the back end. Him and Anibal Sanchez rounding it out. So I think for sure, if I was Jim Leyland and I had to pencil in my fifth spot guy, it would be Drew Smyly, no doubt about it. He has outpitched Porcello by a long shot. He's just been awesome. His pitches look better. His command looks better. He's got a strikeout pitch going. He's commanding all 4 of his pitches, with quality, not just throwing meatballs and getting lucky that they're not getting crushed. He has been the guy, and he has looked awesome, and I think he should be the 5th starter. What they do with Porcello, that's Dave Dombrowski's call. They're going to trade him for a closer and not give a thing to Rendon? Who knows? Are they going to make him a middle reliever, so you don't have to see the same hitters as many times through? Who knows? It never hurts to have pitching depth. But Drew Smyly is by far my guy so far. As of today, it would be my 5th starter. He just looks awesome. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for watching the Hot Corner, and be looking for more of these videos. Have a good one, guys.